Hey, Sage Forsaken here. So, I am currently working on a custom. I was given the project of doing a year 3000 adventurer. And when I think of the year 3000, hopefully, just like we used to think of the year 2000, we thought we'll be in space. So, I want to make I'm using the boulder body as the base body. I've got a head for it and everything. I've shaved down some of the extra flashing that had on it. I had to do a mod that I've shown before where you screw a screw into the bottom because the neck peg was a different size after I trimmed the neck peg off, or at least trimmed it down. And I've got some extra gear in there. I want to probably use like this jetpack, things of that nature from Star Wars. Now what I want to do is, since he's going to be in space, I want him to have a full body suit. So I'm going to use the lower arms for this figure, so that I can have lower arms that are going to peg in, just like these peg in for Boulder, but that aren't going to have flesh tone. Now I could have, yes, sculpted something or painted something, but you know, I'm trying to use mostly core parts. So of course the head I have here is from a non-core figure. Hopefully this is going to turn out well. What I'm doing right now is I'm waiting on the microwave to heat up the water. I'm going to put this in like really hot water so that the joints right here, the peg and everything, gets water into it and gets kind of softer than normal. And then I'll try to pull the pegs. And of course I had to do the same thing for the boulder arms. If I either have one break but the other one's fine, I may decide to use one full arm from this guy. So I'm going to do the boulder arms first, and then I'll do his arms second, instead of using just half an arm or whatever, instead of just lowers and lowers, because I'm planning on cutting one of the shoulder pads off on the boulder body. It won't look that strange if one of the boulder arms, because they already have armor at the top. They already have like sculpted armor right there. So the plan is pull these lower arms off, put these lower arms either on this body or put them to the side for later use. Anyway, I'll probably be back in a few minutes. Okay, so what I've done is I did get these pegged out and swapped out. So now he'll have black arms all the way down and through. It's hard to tell in this light, but they are slightly different blacks. So it may be a paint job will be needed. As you can see, I've started out with torso here. I'm definitely going to be taking one of these shoulder pads off, and actually, to kind of change it up, I think I might add something to the other shoulder pad to kind of make it look a little different than the normal boulder body. I love the boulder body for the fact that it has this storage right here, so I can hang some sort of gear off there. I plan to, like I said, mount the jetpack here. I'll probably have to paint it too, but I plan to mount the jetpack. I don't know. I don't think it's going to peg right for this particular figure because the peg is so small. But as you can see, besides that, I'll Dremel that down a little bit to make it even so it sits flush with that. And then I'll probably just end up attaching that. So we'll have a jetpack. I may use this in some way. I know it's a rebreather for a diver, so it doesn't really make sense to be put right on the front of the like right in front here, because he can't get to that in that helmet. But I may cut those tubes off and use them somewhere else. Or I may put this somewhere else on the body, like on the waist or something. Because adventurers need gear. I have other gear I'm going to look at, and I'm going to continue looking to see what I can do. Got about another week to work on this, and then I'll be putting pictures up on the core website, and then I'll probably post this video afterwards. Thank you, like and subscribe. Sage Forsaken here. Sorry about the dishwasher sound in the background. So, of course, anytime you're making a custom, you got stuff you need to do. You got to figure out what accessories. Like, does my guy need a wrestling belt? What do you need, right? Is he a diver? Is there something on here, even if I don't need this belt? Look at this belt. It has, get focus. It has like a time bomb on it. A little bat head. Ah, sorry. A bat head. It's from a DC character. It's a Batman type weird figure. A big pouch. Do I need a pouch on my character? I got this helmet. I don't even know what it's from, but it clicks in the back and then would like go over somebody's head. So basically what you do is you dig through all your junk. You're trying to find stuff that's going to make it pop. Make it a little more than the normal. You know, that's not always easy. I mean, especially when I've already got an idea of kind of a space idea. Is that the right idea? Like, does he need a big cutting tool? He's supposed to be an adventurer. And I've got this idea I'm doing where I use some Imaginext style stuff like this. And I don't know if I showed this to you guys. Like, attach pieces of the bony armor from an Imaginext to the figure. Well, let's come on, come into focus. So, like, for example, put that on the shoulder pad. Maybe put this on one of the knees. On the skull. But we'll see, you know, half of the fun is figuring out how to use stuff in ways it wasn't expected to be used and making it cool. Because anybody can just slap parts together. I mean, there are tons of customizers out there that all they do is basically, and you know, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that I like to go that step further. They like swap some parts together and they have a completely different toy, but it's like 3 or 4 different figures parts. And that's like the first step for me. That's what you've already seen me do. So I'm going to be digging through here. And give me a couple minutes to dig through here and see what I find. Okay, and we're back. Thank you, welcome back. So, I like the idea of having some sort of melee weapon. It might be one of these weapons. It might be a combination of these weapons. Somewhere I got to find the sword that was with that. That's Cobra Commander's. Anyway, things like this came off of a, like either a Halo figure or a Destiny figure or something like that. That's like little Greeblies that will be great if I can find a use for them. You know, tanks like a diver would use. Even though he's not a diver, he's going to be in space, he might need an air tank or something. And there's also these gauges on dive tanks that you might use. Even if I just attach that to his wrist, it might be a gear of some sort. Of course, so what you do is you take all the stuff that you're like, maybe, I don't know, and you put it with your project case. This also came off a figure, and what's funny about this is if I put this on there, it might actually be a female, because that's going to increase the profile of the chest without having to do any sculpting, really. So it's kind of an idea, but I don't necessarily want to cover up. See, there's some sort of like Jack Sparrow type sword and belt. I don't want to cover up. I like weird stuff that just randomly you find that you think might be interesting, like a violin. Why not? Playing cards, definitely. Random armor piece for an Iron Man thing, yep. Just put it all in there because you don't know what you're going to use. And then you start saying, well, sometimes you come across an idea that reminds you of something else you'd thought about before. So I found these wings. And these wings are not right for this project. But they are a hint for what may be coming. So that's all I'm going to say for now. We'll see what the next step is. So starting off the paint job with a flat black from Tamiya Color. These Tamiya Color paints are not only really quick drying, they stick to plastic really good because they're made for models and Gundam and stuff like that. So usually if your figure has been washed with soap and water at any time, this paint will stick to it pretty good. So using the helicopter wings off an RC helicopter that I had a whole box of junk RC helicopters. I made this wing. They are screwed into the back of the figure and glued in place. And then the backpack is also glued on the back there, which is the old diver thing with the diving hoses cut off. So we'll see how that looks after everything's painted. It's kind of hard to tell right now. But I think we're in good shape. Just got to get the paint job done and everything before tomorrow. Okay, so we are nearly done with the preliminary paint job. There might be some touch-ups to do later, but this is our adventure, year 3000 adventure. I need to get him some weapons, and I need to, of course, make sure those match